Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to make a new episode for DGR and how I'm using my strategy. I already showed you twice some examples of trading situations, and my last video showed you how you have to perform the settings within the DGR and the DGR Assist to make this strategy possible. Today, I want to go back into practice and to show you more or less my daily routine, how to look for coins, how to decide where to trade and what not. So the first thing in the morning is, before I start, if this is the first time you see the DGR, it's maybe better to look one of my first three videos. I would recommend to start really in the beginning because I will not um, summarize all this again. So it would be better if you are already a little bit familiar with the wording and with the idea of my strategy. So what I'm doing in the morning as the first is normally for sure having a look for Bitcoin because all altcoin movements will somehow orientate on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is having a big move up, it's slightly more possible that all altcoins are doing the same as well. When Bitcoin is going down, normally the altcoins will follow. For altcoins, normally it's the best when Bitcoin is really in a sideway movement like now. This gives the altcoin market a chance to evolve and to grow. But when Bitcoin is making bigger moves up or bigger moves down, yes, you just have to be a little bit careful. So now we are on the BTC chart in the 15 minutes time frame. So the most important things I'm looking for in the moment is what are the trends for Bitcoin. So you can see in the 50 minutes time frame, we just broke a bearish momentum, which lasted for the last 17 hours. We broke that somewhere tonight at 5:30, and since then we are in a new bearish momentum. We are beneath the step line as well that we are beneath the DGR itself. So altogether we are for sure more in a bearish market momentum than in a bullish momentum. For sure there are always chances that this will change in a bigger picture, but it's just like for me to get a picture, an overview, what is the trend actually in this moment. So in the 50 minutes we can say we are in a bearish momentum. Also when we found some support over here, some support over there, like a double bottom, and now are hitting the 15 minutes buyer line. Here is my 1 hour buyer line. So it looks like we could find something like a bottom now, but nevertheless at this moment it's more a bear than a bear market, a bear than a bull market. But let's look for also the bigger time frames. Seeing for the 1 hour time frame, you see we are even bearisher. There the bear line is up here, so it's really a step up from this point. We are even below the 50-50 line. We are far away from everything which could tell us we are switching to a bullish momentum. And just look also for the 4 hours, and we will for sure see that the the bear line is even more far away. So we can for sure say at this moment we are maybe having something like a bottom, but for being more cautious, we are in a bearish momentum with a chance to grow up. So this is something I'm just doing in the moment when I start to look for coins in the morning, because yeah, it's very helpful to see what Bitcoin is doing right now, and before I go into the altcoin market actually. So after I got this first view into BTC, I am switching to our Discord group of cryptotargets.com. And in this Discord group, you will find a lot of different things. There are stuff open for everybody, also for people who are not members. But for sure, the most important parts are for members exclusive. The thing I am using in the moment, in the morning, is the setup alerts. This is this one over here. And in this setup alerts, we have a bot running all Binance future coins and even some more Binance coins. This bot is looking for a DGR cross. No matter if the cross is from down to up or from up to down, every time when the price of a altcoin is hitting this DGR line, up or down, we are getting this plot, we are getting a notification. If you want, you can get this notification even on your telephone for sure. But with this help, it's much easier to scan the market. You don't need to do that by yourself. The bot is doing this first step for you. So because my setup strategy is highly connected to the DGR cross and time afterwards, it's more or less perfect for me. I can just in the morning look for the setup alerts and see what happened in the last hours. So the last alert actually happened at 3 in the morning, which is nice since then there are 7 hours, we are now 7 hours later, or even, let me see if I go, yeah, 7 hours later. But this is completely okay because we are not looking for an alert which you have to take within the next seconds or minutes. It's much more about seeing switching momentums in the market. So if we have the NEO now, NEO against USDT, let's have a look for it on the chart. Here it is. We will now look into the momentum, and here you can see the cross from down to up already happened. So what I told you I could expect, which will happen within the next hours for Bitcoin, is maybe already happening for NEO. We already crossed the DGR. We already came back in the 15 minutes to be bullish. Just let me quickly see what is with the 1 hour. So we also are bullish in the 1 hour. We are also bullish, yeah, there's our bullish line in the 4 hour. So NEO at this moment looks really bullish. And what we are hoping for is exactly what's actually happening right now. We are searching for a cross, and then we are searching for something like a confirmation. And then a very nice confirmation is when we are in a bullish momentum and the price is actually hitting this line again, this 15 minutes buyer line again. This is like our perfect signal. So I will just right away go and make a bet over here. Normally it's not happening so fast. Very often I have to do some more preparation before, but in this case it's really a nice chance to just go into the trade because we just confirmed this 15 minutes line. Here sometimes we couldn't even touch it. We were already stopped by the bullish trend line and also by the step line. But now you see this nice last candle over here. It's really accepting this 15 minutes buyer line. Candle was close within the next minutes. So I think this is really a nice moment to go into a long trade with a not low, not high, an average leverage maybe of 10x, I would say. And I will just do this right away. So I'm back recording. It took me like 2 minutes to make the trade. What I'm doing now, I will for sure mark me where I entered this trade here in my chart. I'm now putting the exact price I could get to enter this trade. And for you, normally I'm not doing that, I will even write the, oops, I will even write the leverage I took. So what is happening in this moment, we broke this bullish momentum. You see over here, the next candle start in a bearish trend. So what could happen is that it maybe really goes a little bit more down. But I hope it will accept this line. So it's a little bit of a risky trade because we in this moment are changing the momentum to bearish. But this candle just before looks so bullish. It has such a long wick. Now it's also accepting accepting with the next candle this 15 minutes buy line as well. For sure now this green line is maybe slightly a resistance. For sure the step line will be a resistance after it was broken like an hour ago. But all the rest looks bullish for me, so this is really like a nice chance to enter the trade. I will not risk too much over here because, yeah, like I said, it could be for sure that it maybe goes down over here again because we just broke this bearish momentum. Let me see. Yeah, this would be too much for me, so I will just like risk a little portion, like 16% of my trade. I will put a stop loss over there. I will mark it like this, check, and I will put my stop loss on my exchange, like that, bam, and that's it actually. So now I will mark this green. This is also just for me, but it's how I'm doing it, so I know I am in a position which is long. For sure you don't have to do that, but it helps me a lot to get a better overview. So this was really like an exception that I'm looking for a coin. Oh, let me see that I'm looking for a coin and directly I can go into a trade. Normally it's not like that. Going back to Discord, you will see I will look now for the next coin. Near gave us an alert at 2:30 this morning. So looking for Near, it's just the one on top of that. We will see here it looks a little bit different. What happened in the last hours is we hardly broke the DGR to the downside, fall heavily. We broke the 50 minutes really hard. We couldn't find a bottom over here. We could find a bottom over there. So this could be really our new 15 minutes buyer line, which could be accepted for the next days. I will mark it with a 50-minute. Why am I doing that? I'm doing that because if I now switch to a higher time frame, I am still able to see my 15 minutes buyer line. So because now this plot is for the 1 hour time frame, but because I'm trading on the 50 minutes time frame, this is already important for me. That's why I'm drawing that line. Saying that, we are looking for the rest of informations we have. We are beneath the step line. The price tonight tried to break the step line. It couldn't. The result was it even broke beneath the DGR again. It could hold the bullish trend for a lot of tries, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 now. 10 times the price holds this bullish momentum in the 50 minutes candles. As well, it holds the 50-50 line of the trend. Let's just see for one smaller time frame. So here we are already bearish. And let's see for a higher time frame. I guess here we are still, here we are also bearish. Okay, And let's see for a 4-hour time frame. Here we are also bearish. So actually we are bearish in 2 higher time frames. We are bearish in a smaller time frame. Let's see for the 1 minute. We are also bearish in the 1 minute. So the 15-minute time frame seems to be something like an island of bullishness at this moment, which tells me this 50-50 line looks solid, but because in all other time frames we are currently bullish, I will not go into a trade at this point. We could go for a small leverage trade because we got such a nice confirmation so often. So it wouldn't be wrong to maybe go into a bullish trade with a small leverage, not a 10 leverage, maybe a 5, 4, 3 leverage trade, just because of this nice confirmation over here. But I will be a little bit more cautious. I expect maybe the price to try to come over here again, but then really break down again over here, because we got this confirmation just at the start here. This line is also not very fixed at this moment. I will wait for another confirmation of this 15 minutes line to go into a long trade. So what I'm doing is I just set an alarm for this 15 minutes line. Oh, computer is a little bit slowly at this point. Oh. Now there will be a sign. Whoa, sorry, I was hitting the wrong button before. So you see, now I have an alert set on this line, and come on, like this. So I will just wait now if the price comes back here and gives me a nicer opportunity to go into this trade. If it will not happen, okay for me, but this point is just too risky in my point of view. Explained out of all these reasons that we are bullish in all time frames around. I will make me a blue notification in my logic. This means I'm looking for a bullish entry point, but I'm not into a trade right now. C for Neo, just back if I'm already kicked out of my position, but at this moment it looks fine. My stop loss is over here. In this moment the price is even evolving upside. I will not put the stop loss already here. I could do this to not get risk to lose anything, but it's just this window is now too small. So I will, if I put the stop loss over here now, I will just risk to be kicked out of the trade immediately. So I will give this a little bit more time. And here, yeah, like I said, the alarm is set, and we will just wait now. Looking for one more coin. Next coin got an alert at 2:30 this morning was MKR against USDT. Having this over here. It's nice, they are all very close together. And here we have another completely different scenario. We are above the DGR, which is nice for a long setup. We broke this bearish trend here. We now are more or less on the same niveau than the bearish trend was before. And also, if you see this line, this old 15 minutes line from here, it came down like this. We are also like having this line in a kind of as a support, as well as that the DGR now will more or less do a move like this. This looks nice. This looks like could be a potential trade. On the negative side, we are very, very close already to the 15 minutes buyer, 15 minutes seller line. So you see here we broke this 15 minute seller line a little bit, then it came down again. We could break it again, but now we come down again. So the movement from here to there isn't very sexy, to be honest. It's just like 2%. And this is our first next hurdles. So there's not a lot of space coming into a trade here and just coming can go up to there. It's not very sexy. It's not very interesting. Waiting until the price comes down to this 15 minutes line could be interesting, but in the same moment we have to cross the DGR to the downside to come here, which gives us mixed signals, I could say. So I would say this doesn't look like something I'm very up to. Let me see what is in the 5 minutes time frame. We are bullish in the 5 minutes. We are also bullish in the 1 hour, far away from everything else, which is nice. Let's look for the 4 hours. We are bearish in the 4 hours. Okay, so I guess this is the all-time high of this coin. We are nice above the step line. We could hold it, we could cross it here and now hold it. So over here actually looks like a nice point to maybe risk to go into another trade. This is huge, 5% away from here. I'm going back to the 50 minutes time frame, which is normally the place to go for an action. So seeing what happens in the bigger time frames, I will make me now from here to there actually. So you see this line is going in a little waveform, but I'm okay with just put it like that in a straight line. I will mark it again with my 15 minutes orange, which shows me now, okay, this is my 15 minutes buyer line, no matter which time frame I am in. And I will put me an alert if this line is hit. Mark it as blue. Because like said, this is just too short, too less to go into a trade. If we come down here, we have the support of the DGR, but also we are somewhere between good and bad. We would have the DGR beneath us, but from here to there, it's just not so much more. So I could imagine that the price really tries to come back to our support line, to our step line, to our 15 minutes buyer line. So over here, we really would have a nice entry point. We have this line, which will maybe do something like that now. We have this line, which will maybe do something like that now. So I don't know, I can't predict how this plots will go. But what I want to say is we have the 50 minutes line, the bull trend, as well as the step line as supports. So if our price comes back here, I am willing to go into a long trade. And we go for one more, which is FLM, 2:15 in the morning. And you see it really makes, it's really not a problem that the signals are even 7 hours, 8 hours away now. It's good because the price gives us more information. Just with crossing the DGR, we just got the information, okay, something will happen soon. But we have no information just by crossing the DGR. We just got the information, okay, the momentum could change soon. So it's nice that we have this time between. Now at FLM, we see the price couldn't break the bearish trend. It just crossed it a little bit, but stayed beneath the step line all the time. So being above the step line, the DGR, we want that this bullish, that this bearish momentum is broken and changed by a green line from which plots down here then, but we couldn't break it. We couldn't even break the 50-50, we couldn't even break the step line. So for sure we are on the 50 minutes buyer line. But because we are beneath that line, and we couldn't break the bearish momentum at any point after breaking the DGR, it's nothing I'm interested in now. This would really be a hero call to go into into a trade here. But easily, very easily, the price could just go up here, be rejected by the step line or the 50-50 or the bearish trend, and then make something like this and come back to something here and then makes its way back up. So this is nothing I'm interested in at this moment. This is nothing I could like make me a line or alert. This is just a coin I will ignore at this point. So this is my daily morning routine. I did this with NEO, found a direct entry point. Let's see how NEO evolved within this last minutes. So it's still okay. You see, it's still accepting this 15 minutes line. So I will give you an update about that later today. I made me alert on the 50 minutes buyer line for the near, and I put an alert for the MKR on the 50 minutes buyer line, and I decided to ignore the FLM. So this is what I'm doing in the morning. Sometimes I do it with 2 or 3 coins. Sometimes when I don't find something in the first, I do it with 4 or 5 or 6 coins. But normally I stop when I got one entry point already, or when I could set 2, 3 or 4 alarms. This is normally enough to observe for the day. I will switch out the recording at this point and come back to you as soon I got some more informations about NEO or the 2 alerts I set it. See you. Hi again. So it's 3.5 hours later, and I want to show you the progress of our 3 coins. The first one, which I entered the position around 10 o'clock, NEO, which was recorded actually. You remember the stop loss was somewhere here, and I was still on the computer for about a half more hour. The price went up, and when it was up here somewhere and was neglecting to come over the step line, I decided to take the stop loss from here to up here, just to be safe, not to lose any money. What happened just 50 minutes later, 30 minutes later, in fact, I broke my entry position and I was stopped out. So this position is closed now. It was a more or less plus minus 0 business. So I wasn't winning anything, I wasn't losing anything. I will just delete all my informations and see for the next coin. For a near and MKR, these were these 2 other coins. You remember they were in blue. I just started a position some seconds before I started to record again. I just got an alert on my telephone, on my mobile Discord app, not Discord, excuse me, TradingView app, that my alert was hit, and they were both hit short after each other. So you remember I was putting the alert on this line here. This was the line I was drawing, and both were hit more or less simultaneously. So I went to my computer, entered a position here, and entered a position over here, and started to record to show you more or less the progress of both. Like you can see here, actually, This was in the morning when I started to record the first part of this tutorial. I told you I will not enter here also if we have the support of the 50-50 minute and the support of the uptrend. I told you this is not enough and not safe enough, and I will wait for here. This is exactly what I did. The price went up, was neglected by the DGR and the step line, and came all the way back down to the 15 minutes buyer support. I got my alert and I entered my position. In this moment, I'm a little bit in the minus, but this is not a lot. I entered both positions with a X10 leverage and will now see what happens actually. So you see here in this moment the price still tries to press down this buyer line. You can also see that my drawing is not super exact anymore. It should be more like that now, because yeah, you see the plot from the DGR actually is a little bit down my drawing line from before, but nevertheless, I mean, this is just like some 0.x percentages. I got a much better entry position than if I would go in here or at any other point before. The same for MKR. We started to observe the coin when it was somewhere here around 10 this morning. I also put this 15 minutes buyer line over here. Was waiting for, okay, it goes up there. And you remember I told you this is too less of a gain for me to go for this. I already expected it that it will go up here. I could go for a very short run for sure. This is also a strategy, but there was no really a support, not really anything which was backing me up, which was backing up my idea that the price will go up now. So I was just deciding, okay, let's wait until the price really comes back to a much better place. What I still have to do is I have to decide where my stop loss will be now for both positions. Like for NEO also, I will put an initial stop loss now, and I will readjust my stop loss over the day. That's also a reason why I'm normally not looking into more coins than 3 or 4 at the same time, because for sure you have to, in the moment when you started to have a position, you really have to keep track of your coins. When you just got an alert for a coin which could be interesting and you missed the alert, okay, you maybe missed an opportunity, but you will miss or you will not lose any money. But in the moment you are in a trade, you have to be sure that you really get all the necessary informations, that you adjust your stop loss, that you adjust your target positions, stuff like that. So for NEO, like I told you, I was observing it for the next more candles and decided to put my stop loss just slightly above the position price. And now at this point I have to decide where is my initial stop loss for these two positions. So we have my position here, we have a support from this line, but for sure there can be wicks. We have a support from this line, and we have the step line, which goes a little down at this moment. So for sure I want to have at least this space to be sure. I'm looking for the wicks of the candles of the last hours, and you see there are no super long wicks. This is maybe the longest wick available. All the rest of the wicks are normal. Here you see a very long wick, but this is already some days ago. So I'm looking more for wicks like that now. So if this is my deadline over here, I should suggest a wick like that could happen. And when I'm here, I see, okay, there is another low. So maybe I even go beyond this low. So then I have this as a support, the uptrend as a support, the former uptrend I have to say, because it's broken now. I have the former uptrend as a support, I have the 50 minutes buyer line as a support, I have the step line as a support, which will maybe now evolve going this way. And even I have one higher low from this move as a support. I would, let me see, I think I would lose really quite something of my position now. Let me see it for a percentage. So with a X10 leverage, this would be around 35% of my position. This is really not less, not little. This is quite a lot to lose 35% of your position. But let me tell you, the position size I was choosing here isn't so big. So 35% of this position, I'm willing to risk that, especially because there's so many support levels before that I think going for this stop loss is kind of a safe decision. For near, let's see. Here I will just put a stop loss line in there. The wicks here are a little longer. You can see this, it's much more volatile within the 15 minutes. There are much longer wicks than for the coin before. Let me get a feeling for the percentages here. Okay, so if I would go like 35% like the last time, I would be somewhere here. Is there something supportive? Yeah, this is a nice supporting line, maybe. Yeah, so I guess for the first, I would not go more down than this one. I mean, this one was really the stop of a big crash down 2 days ago. Then we even get, it even gets worse. From this moment on, we had higher lows every time up to here. Yeah, difficult to say. I mean, I could, with this long wick now, I could think about just going beyond here, giving it just a very small range to play. It would be already, with an X10 leverage, would be already like 11.5%. The next thing which would make sense for me would actually be here, somewhere here, and then the next which would make sense would be, yeah, maybe here or even there. But if I go down like this, I mean, my whole position would actually liquidate more or less. So I'm not up for this. I can now decide between these two, and my feeling is, especially when I see this this nice wick over here and how this candle evolves now, 1 minute to go, maybe I would start with a stop loss here just to give it a little bit more room for this moment, but then very fast adjust it to this position. And yeah, if the price goes up here now, I would for sure also put my stop loss over the position size, over the position that I can't lose any money. So I guess I will now start with this stop loss position and very fast after a candle or two go at least up to here. This for the moment. So in summary, NEO, I was stopped out ±0, but two new nice positions are open. Let's see how they will play out. So here, just a quick update. The position evolved like I hoped it will. You remember these two lines were set as my two stop loss possibilities, and I decided to take the one more down and said later I will go up. It happens exactly what I was thinking about. The price even came down here. I would have been stopped out if I would have chosen this one. So with this one, my position is still in, and I can now for sure delete this line and put my stop loss just slightly above here to not be inside of any danger anymore. And the other one, let's just have a quick look. Also looks good. Actually, so here my stop loss was already set, was also set a little low to give it space. You see, okay, here you could really go down here, it would have been enough. But I think in the most cases it's better to risk a little bit more in the initial moment of opening, because then you just have this wicks, you know, which normally will stop you out, and you have to be prepared to give them some room. Here the same, I will just go into slightly into the positive side, to the light side, and here I could already think about taking out some profits. I'm already on the 15 minutes seller's line, so I guess I will do that. I mark myself that I took some profits here. I will just do this now. On this 15 minutes I would take about 25% minimum out of my position, just to be safe that I get something out of it if the price comes back now hard. Next levels of taking profit could be, for example, this area where it will break the bearish trend momentum. We can also have a look for the next bigger time frame. There is our 1 hour seller's line. We'll mark it. Damn, still just this. Oh, super mistake. 1 second. Like that. Coming back to the 15 minutes. Yeah, could be a potential next point. You see there is now the trend ending. So if we break it, we would get bullish. So this is really something to cross. And we have the 1 hour sellers. So I will put the next TP here. You know, I'm conservative. I'm completely okay just to have small steps. Because look, from here, I took profits here to here is 13% with a leverage of 10, and 13% is something. So I would say if it comes in here in the next 2 hours, a little less, maybe here, I would take some more gain out of it. And just quick look here. I also already put my stop loss in my exchange, so I will be in the profit anyway. Looking for the TP over here to set would be, oh, it's the wrong one. That's the done one. Yeah, I guess it's here. It could be already here because the step line is coming down. Could take something out here, but let's be a little bit more brave and take them there. This is a nice, wow, nearly 60%, nearly 60%. So when I see 60%, I say, let's get a little down. Let's go for this week. just to be safe to get it, you know? It's better to get 55 now than it's not coming this last bit. So when the price comes here, I take something out. You see, that's how it rolls. Let's see how it plays to the end. So next update, everything looks very fine. For near, we already got our TP1. So this one was hit like nearly an hour ago. So in my logic, I switch it to gray, that I see this topic is already done. Like explained before, this was a nice 55% gain. I took like 25% from my position at this point. Now my next target actually for this coin would be the 15 minutes seller line. I draw myself from here to there as a help. I already explained now why. And with having that, seeing the curves can do something like that. Let's go for our next target area here. TP2 now. Let's predict it somewhere here. Yeah, we go a little down. It's also nice because it's in line with a former step line over here, which could be maybe still kind of a resistance. So we go slightly beneath it. There will be our next target. And the stop loss, I will still let it there, just to give it some room. But I will also put me a line here for the 50-50. And we'll give this an alarm, just to see if the price will cross it again. Then I can have a look at the chart and decide if it's crossing it, do I take some gain out before my position is stop lost. If it's bouncing, maybe I can even increase my position, or I can just set a new alarm to this line and maybe increase it when it's bouncing on that one. So this is like a precautious method to give me just some head start to make new decisions. Here I will sell my next position on this line, and here I get just an alert to have the chance to react. But pretty nice, 25% of our position already closed with a 55% gain. And going for the other one, it even looks brighter. I just showed you this was our goal just before we stopped last recording. This is done now too. So we got one close position over here, one over there. So this is already like 65%. I closed at this point, I closed 25% of my position. Here I closed approximately 12% of my position. And I just, when I switched on my computer to look for it, the price was just up here. So it actually was stopped by this FIB box over here. I wasn't there. I hadn't prepared any limit order. So just when I switched on the computer some seconds ago, this TP3, I manually took some gain over there. And this was again about 20% of the position. So at this moment, more or less 50% of my initial position is closed. But like said, with 53%, with 67%, and with 130% 5% because it was a X10 leverage. All from this morning on 10 o'clock to now, yeah, 7.5 hours later, without so much stress, we could say, huh? What is my next targets over here? Price could come down to this line again to bounce. A bounce on this 50-50 line wouldn't be enough for me, but if we come back to this line, I would maybe suggest to increase the position again. So what am I doing? I just put a new alarm. Can't see the alarm bell because it's a little bit more over here. So I just put on this 1 hour line we had from before, we used from before for our second target. I just switch on the alarm again, so if the price comes down, I will have a look and maybe decide to increase the position again. And what is our next target to the top? Yeah, there's nothing else. There's just this fit box. I will now go to the assist, switch on the next fit boxes because they aren't visible at this moment. So there they are. Okay. And let's see for higher time frames. So we already broke the 1 hour seller line. We already broke the 4 hour trend. And what about the daily? I guess we already broke that as well. Yeah. So we are just like on the near the all-time high of this coin actually. So difficult to say. There's not so much higher to go actually. You see here on the 4 hour time frame we would break the bearish momentum if we cross that one. So I would say something beneath that would really be one of the last borders to cross before, yeah, literally breaking the all-time high. So I would say this is a super nice TP4 for the moment. 3 targets with half of our position already arrived. So like that, yeah, it's also in the fit box. Could be if the trend is as strong as it was in the last hours, in the last 3 hours. This could be maybe a last move. If this is broken, I mean, there's still nothing else to search for. There are no higher points to go. That's our all-time high. Yeah, I'm happy with that TP4. Next step would be somewhere here, but that's just crazy to think about at this moment. So my plan is here, putting a new limit order on TP4. And just now we could think about the stop loss. If I raise it, no, because we have this line active with an alert. That's enough for the moment. See you. Hello and good morning. It's the next morning. We are now more or less 24 hours after our initial start over here. Like you know, we already took some profits over here. I was setting me an alarm on this 50 minutes 50-50 line, which was effectively triggered at 10 o'clock my time yesterday evening. I wasn't listening to it, to be honest. I couldn't take any action, so I was stopped out with this position here. But with this method, my stop loss was in plus, so I didn't lose anything over here, and I could bring in some money with 55%, more or less 25% of my position made 55% gain. So yeah, I would say it's okay because I was putting my alarm here to maybe go into increasing my position, so hoping it will go up, but it didn't. It was just like breaking down, breaking down, breaking down. So at this point, I mean, this is really like super, super slightly into my stop loss. If I would be awake in the night, I could maybe increase my position here, you know, like disable the stop loss when I was be there manually and increase my position when I see it's going up again. But yeah, I mean, it's really nice to automate a lot of this stuff, and getting on 25% of my position, 55% gain is already super nice. Not losing something here is nice. So I would say altogether I'm happy with how everything rolled out. Let's now look for the third coin we started yesterday. This looks super good. We started the observation here. We went into the trade here. You remember we took first, second, third profit and the fourth profit, where I said, okay, now we are close to the all-time high. Let's just switch to a higher time frame to make it better. And the visibility. You remember last time I told you here will be our TP4. We are inside of a box. We are close to the all-time high. So we smashed it, we could say. It was really like going through like butter. Going back to the 50 minutes, you see the first candle which went into it, really like went into it, closed exactly on our TP4, but it's so strong that it even went higher. When a coin went through these fit boxes like butter, you can expect that it will go back a little bit, get a new momentum, and then it can just like go through it again without any problem. When it's breaking it the first time like this, it will not have a problem normally to break it again. And that's exactly what happened. The price came back. I think I set it alarm on my 1 hour seller's line. It couldn't even come back there. It's just like going up and up and up and up. So this is all my sleeping time. So up to now I haven't took any percentages from the night. I can now think about taking profits immediately. I mean, there's like 25 to 50, so there's like still 20% of my initial position open. Just to get an overview again, sold with X with a leverage of 10 with 50%, sold with 67%, sold with 130%, sold with 190%, and now we are even at beautiful, wow, 330% gain. This is incredible, just in one night, huh? So yeah, I guess I will maybe now have a short look for the news to just see what actually is MKR. You know, normally I'm just trading technical analysis with this DGR. I'm not even interested in what this coin is. But when a coin is going up like crazy, now would be maybe a moment to check if there is anything in the news about MKR, if I can expect this coin to rise even higher, because we broke our all-time high somewhere around here. So everything now is like a new field. There are no really new resistances we can break or anything. Let me see again for the fib boxes shortly. Where are the next ones? Ah, yeah, you see in this moment actually. So this fib box we just went through like a knife through butter again. And now we find kind of resistance just on the really start of this fib box. Looks solid for me in this moment. There are some more fib boxes to come. So I would say I will be just I will be patient and not sell anything now. I mean, I got a huge gain out of it anyhow. And the last 20%, I mean, everything can happen. I'm just really open for everything. I will go for the 4-hour just to set my new stop loss. Let me see. The 4-hour bullish trend is still beneath our stop loss, but the step line is already somewhere here. So I think what I will do now is I will put my stop loss somewhere here, which is beneath the closing point of the former candle, which made the former all-time high. So this is like a solid support now. Also, we have the support of the step line and everything above. So the DGR is above, the 50-50 is above, the trend, the broken bearish trend is above. So I'll go with my stop loss like here, which will be again in any case now for nearly 90% of the rest 20% of my position. We'll put the stop loss here, and I think I will now just let it flow. And my next, you see here that the dots are starting here. So this is maybe where I will put a next target area and maybe sell 50% of the rest of my position, which would be like 10% of the initial position. This would be now my TP5 actually. And yeah, let the rest flow. So I hope you could learn something from this 24 hours tutorial. In summary, I opened 3 positions. The first one was plus minus 0. The second one was 55% plus for 25% of the position. And the third one, yeah, just went like crazy. Altogether, I made good gains, we can say. And yeah, I hope you could learn something. And I guess for the next tutorial, I will just do the same again to let you see how it works. Maybe the next time going on a short trade. But I mean, I can't say this now. The market situation will decide if it will be short or long for sure. But I think I will just do this again. And if you have any questions, just write them in the comments. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.